Hi, my name's Jaide Barclay, and you're listening to the What is Crypto podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the What is Crypto podcast with your boy Nye. My name is Matthew Aaron, and I am the producer. This episode is going to be sponsored by BMag, and BMag has been sponsoring episodes the past couple weeks, and they wanted to get the answer to one question. How do you use crypto in your daily life? Well, this next guest is the best example of doing just that. Using crypto in her daily life. She not only used it in her daily life, she told us the story of her saying, I'm only going to use cryptocurrency in my daily life and travel around the world with it. And in this story, Miss Jaide Barclay is going to tell us about 1, how she got the motivation, 2, the process of taking those steps to just live on crypto, and 3, if she would recommend others to do this. Well, I'm excited to hear this story. We're going to be popping into a bull market. I hope, and people are going to need guidance. Some people are going to see $10,000, $15,000 Bitcoin and go, now I want some. Instead of buying it back when it was $5,000 or $3,000 or $7,000, they're going to come in at $15,000. And What is Crypto podcast is positioned perfectly to be their guide. So before we hear the story, please help us out. Subscribe, leave a 5-star rating and a comment to help them find the show. Now, it's your boy Nye with Miss Jaide Barclay talking about living on crypto. We'll see you after the show.
Sweet. I'm glad to have you on, Jaide. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm really well. Thank you so much for having me on.
Definitely. Can you just give a quick introduction of yourself? Like, what's your name and your title?
So my name's Jaide Barclay, and I wouldn't really say I have a title. I'm currently working on a show called Crypt Talk, and I guess I'm hosting that. And previously before that, I was doing more blogging and vlogging and living on crypto for 12 weeks.
Nice. How would you describe yourself?
I would definitely say I'm adventurous. I really try to be positive as much as I can. And I would say I'm social. So yeah, I just like traveling and meeting new people, and I kind of enjoy the change that all the travel and things give you.
And why did you get interested in crypto?
I pretty much got involved when FOMO was kicking in for everyone, and it was, hitting mainstream media in 2017. And it was just something that grabbed my attention because I'd enjoyed trading on the Australian Stock Exchange. And I was targeted through, targeted marketing. So I used to get a lot of pop-ups on my screen whenever I was on my computer, and just combined with seeing it on the news a bit, I just got curious and started doing a bit of research just on YouTube and Google. And it became a little bit addictive, like it really hooked me, and I got pretty obsessed actually. So that was the end of 2017.
Can you tell us a little bit about your story in terms of living off of crypto, and really, like, why did you decide to live off of crypto?
Well, I started a blog earlier this year, and it was a project for myself. I wanted to learn as quickly as I could, and it was a little daily goal that I set myself to do this blog. And I was just doing all sorts of things like, comparing coins, just looking at all different aspects of crypto and blockchain, and writing. It was only like a 1 or 2 page article daily, and I was just posting it on Medium. And I think it was about my 8th blog post that the one I decided to write about was just crypto adoption, and I knew it was a key topic, and a lot of people saying, we've gotten this far, but nobody is actually spending crypto. I had never spent crypto myself, so I thought, okay, cool, I'm going to do that. And it really did start as just a really small idea. And so I was going through the process of setting up all my digital wallets and working out which places I could go to spend it. And then my personal goals for 2019 were to do a lot of travel and to attend a lot of conferences. And I had a few conferences planned out throughout the next quarter of my life of where I wanted to go. So when I thought about that more, that was a 12-week period. And I had this intention of spending crypto. So I thought, okay, well, why don't I do this while I actually travel? And then I can also compare the places that I'm going to. And that stops me from finding just a handful of restaurants and cafes and continuing going to the same ones. It actually pushes me, on a weekly basis to have to do this all over again in a new country, in a new city, and navigate that process. So that was where the idea started. And then I put it out on Instagram, got some really nice support from people in the space, just words of encouragement and people going, oh, that's such a cool idea or whatever, and wanting to know what countries I was planning on going to. And then that list of countries also grew from there. So, in weeks 1 and 2, people were saying, oh, you should come to Seoul, you should come to Tokyo. So the idea really continued growing throughout that 12-week period. And it definitely got easier as well, because if I think back to that first week, like I had no idea what I was doing. So by the last month, you definitely work out, okay, this isn't a challenge anymore. Like I know how to do this. I've been to 8 countries already. Like the 9th one is not going to be any more difficult. So that's how it started, really.
That's really cool. I remember when we were in New York and we were in one of the Ubers, and it was late night. And I think you said like, "I'm so hungry," but I don't think any of the shops that take crypto are still open.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. What are some of the challenges that you faced when having to take on this challenge in itself?
Well, yeah, you've just definitely highlighted the biggest challenge. It was that and coffee for me, because I think, like a lot of people, when you wake up in the morning, it's the first thing you want. Add a hangover to that, and add like not being able to just go to the chemist and buy painkillers as well. So there were some pretty unique and interesting challenges that I didn't actually foresee at the beginning. Yeah, and it's just having to be super organized, and before you even land in a city, like have created a map of places you can go and have some backup snacks in your luggage, just things like that. So, yeah, organization. And I think also one of the key things that I would have really struggled with is if I didn't have friends everywhere I was going. So, because every city I went to was for a conference, I was really lucky to have the crypto community helping me out. So, if I was in a city and couldn't do something, and this was never a plan from the start, but someone would say, don't worry about it, I'll just pay for it and you can just transfer me crypto. So that was definitely like a little loophole that was created. It was more like I just wanted to be able to survive the full 12 weeks, and the challenge adapted, and I guess was my challenge. So I would like adapt my rules as I went, and I tried to stay as true to the cause as possible, but you just don't know what you're going to face in every single city.
How did you find the places that accepted crypto? Was there like an app or something that you could use to find those,
Yeah.
or what was your process with that?
Yeah, it was Coin Map was my biggest savior, and that was available everywhere. So that would pick up my location and just, yeah, it would give me exactly on the map where places were. Also, there's another one in Australia called Travel by Bit, and I was really, really surprised at how many places accepted crypto here. So that was just really lucky that that was available to me. And in New York, Bit Refill was also really helpful as well. But then as the challenge went on and I met more people, people were really helpful. And so, I might be in week 6 and someone I'd met in week 3 would randomly contact me on Telegram and say, oh, I've just put you in touch with this list of vendors in this city, or my friend here is going to help you do this. And people were very, very helpful suggesting places to me.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
After you've been through this whole process, you've gone around the world, you've been utilizing crypto as a payments method,
Mhm.
and arguably you're probably one of the only people that have actually done this to this degree. What do you think about crypto after all of this? Is it simple enough to make this happen? Do you still think it's the future, or did you see some major flaws in the system that made you kind of question what's the real potential of what we're working with here?
I definitely haven't questioned it, and it's definitely only driven my passion for the space. So, obviously, there were challenges, but there's going to be challenge with any new technology, and there's going to be new solutions that people bring out every single year. So, I think it's definitely going to be easier, and already I finished this in May, where in October now, there's already been people that have gotten in touch, mainly on social media through LinkedIn and things, who have created these new apps and new sort of alternatives to CoinMap, little directories and things like that. And we've also got all of the Visa and MasterCard crypto cards. There are so many new things coming out that every single year this is definitely going to be easier and we're going to have more adoption. And yeah, I'd like to also compare this. So at some point in the future, maybe in 3 years or something, I might do something similar and compare the experiences.
And that's really cool. Kind of like a flash forward into the future to kind of see the differences of how it's grown over that 3-year period. I like that.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I did suggest to someone was I've got a friend that's creating an app, which is a directory. And I said it would be really great if you could type in, say, for example, you were landing in Tokyo, but you had a craving, like you just really felt like Italian food that night. So, for example, you land at Tokyo airport. The first thing you generally do is turn on your phone and, you're online already. Say you could type that in English, that you are looking for Italian food to be able to pay with crypto. So the app is specifically for that. And then it can give you suggestions and it translates it into Japanese. So there are a lot of different ways of making it easier. And I definitely think people are going to integrate those into their apps in future.
Now, how do we proceed in the advocation of something like this? In your opinion, like how do you think people should share that crypto is the future as a payment method after you've been one of probably the only people who's been utilizing this to such a high degree across the world?
Well, I would say a lot of us are doing it already, and it's just trying to bring it into your life on a daily basis. So I still spend crypto. I try and spend it a couple of times a week just on small purchases like coffee and food. And that's just because I think, okay, well, I did it for 12 weeks. I'm not just going to go strictly back to spending only fiat. But because of the price volatility, I do only do it with my smaller purchases. So, for example, if you and I and everyone else that's currently involved in the space started spending it a couple of times a week or even daily if you can, and it's just asking that question. So every time you are like in a cafe, you're asking, do you take crypto? And then it's explaining it to the person serving you. So that conversation is getting brought up more and more and it's magnified and it's multiplied. And, it's just, I guess, we're really instigating that movement. And it's also things like when we have friends that are not in the space ask us, it's taking the time to help them set up their wallet, teaching them how to spend it. Like you're really big on social media. So it's us doing more videos on it and doing more posts about it. And the more we get it out there, I think adoption will grow.
I definitely agree with that. I'm actually in the process of building out an app called Bitmaps that solves this exact problem. Pretty much the Yelp of crypto is the goal. So
That's fantastic.
yeah, I looked around at a bunch of different resources that were out there and wasn't super impressed with the current solutions that people had in order to learn about where to spend their crypto and where to use it.
How far away are you from launching?
Probably a month or two. Not
Oh,
super
that's
far out.
exciting.
Yeah, we're super excited about it, and you'll be one of the first people I share it with. So
Yeah, I'd love to use it. The other thing is, how you've got Bitcoin Pizza Day and everyone does their posts on social media, how they've ordered their pizza with Bitcoin?
yeah,
I think we could do that where there's one day or there's one weekend or there's one week every single year that we encourage the community to live on crypto. And if we did that as a combined group effort, I mean, it can't hurt. And somehow you could incentivize them to use your app as well.
that's actually a really good idea. I like it. I
Yeah.
like it a lot.
Cool.
Very cool. All right, Jay. Well, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you for listening to this episode of What is Crypto, and Miss Jaide Barclay. It was a pleasure listening to you talk to our boy Nye. In this DYOR section of the podcast, do your own research. I want you to go spend some cryptocurrency. Now, if you're listening to this podcast and you don't have cryptocurrency, okay, I can forgive you. It could be a hobby. You might like the tech. You might be a cryptographer. I don't know, computer guy, computer nerd. It's your thing. But if you do have cryptocurrency and you do have a wallet on your phone, just say Exodus wallet, Trust wallet, or something of the like, see if you can use cryptocurrency anywhere in your town or anywhere that you frequent. Ask them, do you take Bitcoin? Do you take crypto? Do you take Litecoin or any other altcoin, aka shitcoin, that you probably have bags of? And see if you can spend it. Now, I'm not saying spend your cryptocurrency, but see who takes it. And by seeing who takes it, you will probably see how much work we all have to do to get Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as part of the mainstream. Remember, they're using this in other places. They are using cryptocurrency in countries where their currency has been devalued or just turned to rubbish. So don't think that this is not being used. It is being used, just not here. In the US, the UK, or other first world countries, developing nations, or nations that have a little economic distress right now, they're probably hodling it or using it. So that's your DYOR. See where in your neighborhood is taking cryptocurrency. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in future episodes.